We have seen yesterday globules, then pellets, cones. In the cones, we have seen it is made by two sources, animal kingdom and vegetable kingdom. From the animal kingdom, we are using here egg albumin, that's why it is hard. Then we have seen tablets, properties, utility, advantages, and preservation of all the three things. Then we have seen the ethyl alcohol, its preparation from molasses and from the starchy substances or the starchy material. Then we have seen the impurities of alcohol also with properties and advantages. Of course, if there is an advantage, then there is a disadvantage also. Then we have seen the different uses of alcohol. Today we will see chief varieties of alcohol. So the five varieties of alcohol are there: absolute alcohol, strong alcohol, dilute alcohol, dispensing alcohol, and rectified spirit. So first we will take absolute alcohol. So this is also known as anhydrous alcohol or the alcohol dehydrated. By the term absolute, it means the alcohol is entirely free from water. That is the 100% pure alcohol. Strictly, this is incorrect name because it may contain the 1% of water by weight. Theoretically, it is 100% ethyl alcohol, that is C2H5OH. But by volume or weight by weight, it is only 99% pure ethyl alcohol. The specific gravity is at 15.6 degrees centigrade is 0.792. Then the preparation of the absolute alcohol is it is prepared by the two ways. The first, it can be prepared from the rectified spirit on the small scale, and on the large scale it can be prepared with the help of benzene. Okay, so the rectified spirit we will get it easily from the any sugarcane factories. So this rectified spirit, when it is combined with the fresh quicklime, that is the calcium oxide, heat it so that the water will get evaporated. Then after the heating, we have to do the distillation so that we will get the pure product. If the traces of the water, if it is remain in that heating process, then it will remove. Then again reflux over the metallic calcium or the magnesium. After that again we have to do the distillation, that we called it as a redistillation. In that redistillation we will get the two product, three product actually. The first that we will collect, that should be rejected. After that, after the some quantity of that first product, when suppose you want to prepare the 5 liters, if you took the 5 liters of the rectified spirit, after the evaporation, after the distillation, after the redistillation, if that remains the 3 liter, the 2 liter of water is get evaporated, then among that 3 liters, the first 1 liter we have to reject it. Then this is only an approximation. Then the second part, or that we called it as a middle portion. So that middle portion which is a pure one and it is unmixed, so that we will collect. And last portion again we have to reject. So the first and the last portion we have to reject, and we have to take only the middle portion. So first 1 liter and the last 1 liter we have to reject, and only the middle one, that is the second liter, that we will collect. On the large scale, the rectified spirit is mixed with the benzene if you want to prepare on the large scale. Previously we have mixed it with the calcium oxide, that is the quicklime. Here we are mixing it with the benzene, C6H6. So this again we have to do the distillation so that the water will be evaporated or water will be separated. Here again in the distillation, the three parts, we are dividing this distillation into the three parts. The first fraction, second fraction and the third fraction. So the first fraction will contains the constant boiling mixture of alcohol, water, benzene. The second mixture will again contains the water and alcohol and benzene. The water we will not get here because the boiling point is increasing. And the third or the last portion we will get the pure anhydrous alcohol. So that third portion is known as anhydrous alcohol. So in this way we are preparing the absolute alcohol from the rectified spirit with the help of quicklime or with the help of benzene. So the last fraction from which we will collect that alcohol. So that boiling point is 78.5 degree centigrade. So that is known as the absolute alcohol. The absolute alcohol, it is that is the third portion. Then what is the difference between the homeopathic alcohol and the absolute alcohol? The homeopathic alcohol is of 87% of strength. And it is used for making the homeopathic mother tinctures and the various potencies. Absolute alcohol is 100% pure theoretically, but practically it is 95% of alcohol and one part, that is water. So 95% alcohol may be reduced to homeopathic alcohol by adding 7 parts of 7 parts of 95% of alcohol in 1 part of purified water. So in this way, you can convert this absolute alcohol into the homeopathic alcohol. So how much strength we are having? 87%. And absolute alcohol practically 95%. तो आपको 95 से 85 में convert करना है. So how you can reduce it? So you add the 7 parts of 95% of alcohol. यानी 7 ml अगर आप 95% of alcohol ले रहे हैं, then we have to add it 1 ml of distilled water or the purified water. So in this way, the absolute alcohol be converted into the homeopathic alcohol. Then the purity test, how you will know this is the absolute alcohol which is formed in the benzene preparation, or we can form in the calcium oxide. So as regards the traces of water of sample of alcohol is taken, अगर आपने 10 ml of alcohol लिया है in the test tube, then shake it vigorously and add 0.5 gram of anhydrous copper sulfate, which will turn blue if the water is present in the sample. So in this way, you can check the purity of absolute alcohol. What you have to do, you have to take the 10 ml of sample of alcohol in the test tube, shake it vigorously and then add 0.5 gram of anhydrous copper sulfate. So here there is a one question to you. What is the color of copper sulfate and what is the color of anhydrous copper sulfate, and what is the difference between the copper sulfate and anhydrous copper sulfate? So color and difference. These are the two questions to you regarding the copper sulfate. Then uses this absolute alcohol we know in the purification of the sacklet. Here we are using 2 liters of absolute alcohol. So this is about the absolute alcohol. It is prepared with the help of benzene on the large scale. And the third fraction we are taking, which contains anhydrous copper sulfate. In the second fraction, it is 32.4% pure. And in the first portion, it is only 18.5%. And hence, we have to take the last portion where the percentage increase. Then we can prepare this absolute alcohol when the rectified spirit is mixed with the fresh quick lime. So these are the two methods of preparation of absolute alcohol. Specific gravity is 0.792 and Practically, we can convert these absolute alcohol into the homeopathic alcohol by adding 7 parts of alcohol into the 1 part of water. Then we can check the purity test of this absolute alcohol by adding anhydrous copper sulfate and the use of this absolute alcohol in the Staff process. So this is about absolute alcohol. The second variety of the second variety of the alcohol is a strong alcohol. This is known as the alcohol 40 or the alcohol 40s. The alcohol जब हम use करते हैं word, that is nothing but the strong alcohol. In homeopathy, when the word alcohol, that means strong alcohol. This is obtained from the second distillation and its strength becomes approximately 95% by volume. Preparation, it is prepared by mixing 94.9% by volume of pure ethyl alcohol. So, absolute alcohol हमने prepare किया था rectified spirit से and strong alcohol we are preparing from the pure ethyl alcohol which is 94.9% by volume and add the 5.1% by volume of purified water. So how you are preparing this? By taking 94.9% volume of pure ethyl alcohol and 5.1% by volume by adding of purified water. It may be diluted to any extent with the purified water. So if you want to dilute, then again you can add the more amount of the water. Properties, specific gravity is 0.816. It is colorless, transparent, mobile, it is volatile, it is having the pleasant aroma and it is having the burning taste. Then it is neutral to all the indicators when it is pure. So we can do here the litmus test if it is adulterated. Then it is miserable with the water. It will not dissolve in it. Then acetone to the chloroform, ether and many other organic solvents. Then you can do the iodoform test. Here you what you have to do, you take the 2 to 3 ml of solution, this iodine solution in the test tube and add equal volume of strong solution with the potassium. Then warm it gently. So you have to make the solution of potassium and the iodine with the 2 to 3 ml of equal quantity. Then add it, warm it gently. Take out from the flame and add the solution of NaOH drop by drop until the color is pale yellow. Cool the test tube. A yellow crystalline PPT of iodoform will separate it. So that is the iodoform test. So what you are doing here, you are taking the 2 to 3 ml of the solution in the test tube. That is the solution of iodine and potassium. Then add the equal amount of the strong alcohol. Add the NaOH drop by drop. Previously you have to heat it, then cool that test tube. You will get the yellow crystalline PPT of iodoform. Then it is used. We know the uses of strong alcohol. It is used for preparation of mother tincture in both the methods. We know it is useful for the preparation of mother solution. In which classes we are preparing mother solution? That is your third question. Then the preparation of absolute alcohol, preparation of dilute alcohol, preparation of dispensing alcohol. It has to be stored well in a glass bottle in a cool place and it is highly volatile, so that it should be stored in an airtight container and it is highly inflammable and hence we have to keep it away from the heat or the any inflammable substances. So these are the uses of the alcohol. Then next one is dilute alcohol. Exactly. Dilute alcohol, according to the HPI, that is the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India, dilute alcohol is 66%, contains 62.5% by volume alcohol and 60.6% weight by weight of alcohol. And these are the different pharmacopoeia saying the different things, but I have took only the Indian homeopathic pharmacopoeia. So dilute alcohol, if it is a 66% pure, then it contains 62.5 volume by volume of alcohol or 60.6% weight by weight of alcohol. Then the this dilute alcohol, 695 ml of strong alcohol, how it is prepared? It is prepared by adding from the strong alcohol to the 100 ml of purified water. Specific gravity is 0.916, and it is again used for preparation of potencies in the decimal scale, and it is useful for the cleansing instrument. The next variety is a dispensing alcohol. It is also known as alcohol officinalis or the official alcohol. It contains 88% by volume or 83.1 by weight ethyl alcohol and 12% by volume purified water. So it is again prepared from the ethyl alcohol. It can be prepared by using the 10 parts of strong alcohol and the 1 part of purified water, or 12.25 parts of volume of strong alcohol and 1 part by volume of the purified water. Specific gravity is 0.840. It is again useful for the potency preparation, and it is readily absorbed by the globules, sugar of milk or any tablets. In India, for dispensing purpose, alcohol of this strain, it is not used. Rectified spirit 60 overproof, which 3.29 stronger than the dispensing alcohol is used. Then the next one is the rectified spirit. So there is a long procedure of conversion of rectified spirit to absolute alcohol. We have seen it with the help of calcium oxide and with that of the benzene. But here again they have given with the help of potassium carbonate. Then this rectified spirit may be overproof or it may be the underproof. Rectified spirit is 60 degree overproof. That means 60 डिग्री अगर आप बोलते हो तो उसमें क्या कंटेंट क्या क्या रहेंगे? तो इसमें रहेंगे द 100 वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ अल्कोहल is diluted with the purified water that will give 160 volumes of proof spirit. In other words, it means the pure rectified spirit contains 160% proof spirit. So 60%, 60 degree over proof यानी 100 volume उसमें है alcohol and 60 volumes उसमें है purified water. So in this way, it contains 160% of proof alcohol. It contains 91.29 by volume of ethyl alcohol having the specific gravity 0.829. Then how it is prepared? It is prepared by mixing. अगर आप ml में करना चाहते हो तो 375 ml of purified water आपको लेना है, and that you can add in 1000 ml of strong alcohol. Again, it is useful for the potentization under the centesimal scale, and it is useful for the cleansing instruments. Then if it is a 40 degree overproof, या फिर so this is known as the proof spirit. So rectified spirit, if it is 40 degree or it is 20 degree overproof. So this is the overproof and the underproof. These are the two terminologies which we are using in the proof spirit. So first we will see what is the proof spirit. So proof spirit means it is a mixture of alcohol and purified water weighing 12 by 13 of equal volume of purified water at 15 degree centigrade. So proof spirit is a mixture of alcohol and purified water weighing 12 by 13th of equal volume of purified water, but the temperature is 51 degree centigrade. The standard strength, the proof spirit is 51.1% of ethyl alcohol by volume or 42.9% of purified water by volume. So 12 by 13th यानी कितना लेना है आपको? If you are taking the 57.1% of ethyl alcohol, अगर आप वॉल्यूम से मेजर कर रहे हो तो वॉल्यूम अगर आपने 1 लिया तो उसमें आपको वाटर कितना ऐड करना है? 42.9. So that is the proof spirit या फिर that is also known as the alcoholometry. So this is the alcohol which you can sell, or this is the alcohol which which is available in the market. So ये सब adulterants ना हो या फिर pure alcohol हमको मिले, and that's why the government has set some rules, and that rule is known as this proof spirit. So that proof spirit may be overproof or it may be the underproof. अगर आपको calculate करना है कि if it is 90% और if it overproof, अगर आपको 60% overproof अगर आपको लेना है, so that means 100 volumes of liquid, that may be the alcohol, and it is diluted with the purified water. So it is the 160. So the formula is also there. So according to that formula, आपको 60 plus 100 and it is divided by 1.75. So this is the formula. क्या है? अगर 90% क्या से अगर आप निकाल रहे हो, so 90 plus आपको water add करना पड़ेगा, multiply by 1.75 and it is परसेंट निकालना है, इसलिए हमको 100 से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. सो अगर 60 ओवर प्रूफ अगर है आपके पास, तो 60 plus 100 वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ वाटर डिवाइडेड इट बाय 1.75. सो इसमें परसेंटेज कितना निकलेगा अल्कोहल का? 91.45. और अगर अंडर प्रूफ है, सो अंडर प्रूफ दिस मीन्स द 100 वॉल्यूम्स ये आपको माइनस करना पड़ेगा. So 100 volumes of liquid contains only 40% of proof spirit. तो यहाँ पे overproof और underproof. तो overproof में percentage of alcohol is much more and underproof में ये रहेगा कम. So underproof में आपको क्या करना है? 100 volumes of liquid अगर है, so उसमें 100 उसमें सिर्फ 40% ही अल्कोहल है और 60% उसमें वाटर है, and hence the percentage wise nikaloge, so that became a 22.86. So this is the underproof and overproof. Then the purified water. वाटर का फॉर्मूला हम सबको पता है, that is the H2O. The molecular weight also we know, that is the 18. It is also known as aqua distilla. It is prepared by the distillation and by the deionization. So deionization means the exchange of ions we are doing here, cations and anions. Distillation process we know, and the deionization means these are the certain synthetic substances which we call at ion exchange resins that we are adding for the exchange of cations and the anions from the solution by hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions respectively. Those resins which replace other cations by hydrogen ion are called cation exchanger or cation exchange resins, and which replaces the anion by hydroxyl group, that is the OH group. They are known as anion exchanger or the anion exchange resin. So we are adding here the synthetic substances so that the ion exchange will be there and the water will be pure. The cation exchangers are generally sulfonated organic compounds of high molecular weight, and the anion exchanger are generally OH compounds which are derived from the organic amines. When the impure water containing, so impurities of water में हमने देखा था कि calcium and magnesium, these are the two salts which are present in the water in a large amount. So यही हमको calcium और magnesium water में से remove करने हैं. So for that we have to pass this water through the cation exchanger which contains the hydrogen ions and the metallic ions, and it is replaced by, and that will replace by the hydrogen ion. And so when the water will contains the calcium chloride, when it is combines with the hydrogen exchanger, you will get the HCl there plus the radical of calcium. And if it is a magnesium is present, and if you are again passing through the hydrogen resins, then you will get a magnesium compound with the H2SO4. But still it is not pure. The water which is coming out from the column, it is acidic. It may contains the HCl or it may contains the H2SO4. So it is not useful for the our purposes. So the resultant acid, therefore we have to remove it, and for that we have to add the anion exchanger. So here we will add a hydroxyl group. So what will be the reaction? HCl plus hydroxyl group, there is a formation of water. The combined effect of passage of the impure water through the cation and anion exchanger in succussion result in the production of pure water, practically which is free from the ion. Such water is called a mineralized or the deionized water, and it is a good as the purified water which is suitable for all the purposes. So there are the two chambers, an ion exchanger and a cation exchanger. So in the cation exchanger, there is a, what you are doing, you are passing the impure water in that cation exchanger. We are here using the cation exchanger as a hydrogen ions. So when these hydrogen ions will combine with the impurities of water, there is a formation of acid. So again we do not require the acid in the water, and hence we have to pass it to the anion exchanger where there is a hydroxyl group is present, and this hydroxyl group will combine with that acid, and then there is a formation of the pure water, and the alkali which will generated it will remain out. So in this way, we will get the pure water by deionization or the ion exchanger mechanism. Then what are the uses of water? So we know the water, it is our life. So there are so many uses of the water. It is useful for the cleansing instrument. It is useful for the preparation of mother solution. It is useful for preparation of reagents, lotions. It is useful for the preparation of potencies, then dispensing medicines. Again, it is useful for the preparation of injections, preparation of alcohol. So these are the certain uses of the water. In the properties of water, the it is colorless. It is a pH should not be exceed more than 6 to 7. Freezing point we know 0 degrees centigrade. Specific gravity we know it is the 1 at 25 degrees centigrade. Then we also know the latent point of vaporization, that is the 539.4. The heat of formation is 68.32. Then the viscosity is 8.937. It is colorless liquid, tasteless, and this is a non-conductor of electricity because of the negligible ionization. The water is readily crystallized. Then it is a good ionizing solvent for acid base and bases and salts. Then the water is absorbed by many substances, of which important ones are concentrated H2SO4 or the quicklime, etc. Then the certain impurities are present in the water. Just now we have seen the calcium and the magnesium. These are two impurities are present. With that, sulfate and the chlorides are also present in it. And the certain amounts of the clay, sand, or the vegetable matters can be present as the impurity in it. So we have done the practical for the purity of water for the chloride. If you remember, we have added silver nitrate and dilute nitric acid. There is no white PPT or turbidity. That means the water is pure. For the calcium, we have added ammonium oxalate and dilute acetic acid. If the white turbidity is present, that means calcium is present. Sulfate, to find out the sulfate impurity, we have added barium chloride and dilute HCl. No white PPT or the turbidity. That means it is a pure water. And for ammonia, we have added the Nessler's reagent. So no brown PPT. That means water is pure. So all these practicals we have done in the lab. So no need to take it again and again. You can refer your book. You can refer your practical journals if you are having. And अगर आपने लिखा होगा तो definitely you will have that material. The next one is the solvent ether. So this ether, it is also known as ethyl oxide or the ethylic ether. The sources are it is the diethyl ether, reminder of the alcohol and water. Then properties. It is colorless, transparent liquid. It is having sweet smell but burning taste. It is inflammable. It boils at 34.5 degrees centigrade and it burns with white flame. It is extremely volatile. It is soluble in 8.5 volumes of water, alcohol, chloroform. It is a fixed. Uh, then it dissolves in bromine, iodine readily, and the corrosive sublimate is very quickly dissolved by it. So these are the properties of ether or the solvent ether. Precautions what you have to take while handling it. It should be away from the fire. It is a highly inflammable and volatile, so it should be kept in a airtight bottle. It never used as an anesthetic material. It is useful for the extraction of um, the drug substances from plant origin, and it is act as a good solvent for many organic compounds, that is resins, gums, fats, etc. It is used only when the alcohol in its varying properties with water cannot extract the drug substances from the plant. So in that case, we can use ether. The next one is the glycerin, which is in on the glycerin 5 mark question येतो याच्यावर आणि मी पण आधी प्रिलिम्स मध्ये घेतलेला आहे. So glycerin, it is also known as glycerol. The molecular weight is 92.1. The boiling point is 290 degrees centigrade. Specific gravity is 1.26. It is important trihydric alcohol. It contains not less than 98% weight by weight of C3H8O3. It is the commonest constituent of all animal and vegetable oils and fats. For example, olive oil, coconut oil, etc. Then the preparation. इसकी preparation बहुत बड़ी है, लेकिन जिन स्टूडेंट्स ने ये ग्लिसरीन अटेम्प्ट किया है दे हैव रिटर्न इट नाइसली. थोड़ा थोड़ा इधर उधर हुआ है बट कोशिश अच्छी थी उनकी. So it is prepared by the three ways: from the sugar by fermentation, second by the synthetic process, that is by using the propylene, and the third that is from the soap lysis. So ये जो soap lysis की process है, it is quite bigger one. So in this way you will get the glycerin by the three ways. So from the fermentation, when a sugar is fermented with yeast, about 3% of glycerol is formed along with that alcohol. So if you want to ferment the glucose plus that glucose, that is C6H12O6, that will be fermented as glycerol and acetaldehyde. So ये reaction आपने 12th में की है in the organic chemistry में कि how the glucose we will obtain. So in that, I think in the reaction of alcohol only you have done it. So glucose will be that glucose will be fermented by adding the yeast, and you will get the glycerol and the acetaldehyde. The second one is a synthetic process, that is with the help of propylene. So large quantities of glycerol generally prepared from this process. It is prepared when the propylene, that is a petroleum product, when it is chlorinated to form the allyl chloride, which is converted to allyl alcohol. So propylene plus allyl chloride, in the presence, it is treated with the hydrochlorous acid, and then you will get the allyl alcohol. The extraction of HCl with soda lime followed by the hydrolysis, that will give the glycerin. So this is the second process. Then the third one is the spent soap lysis. So this is a quite long process. Um, the fats and oils are hydrolyzed with the NaOH solution when the glycerol and sodium salts of fatty acids are formed. The soap is salted out while the glycerol remains in solution, known as the spent lye. Spent lye contains 3.5% of 3 to 5% of glycerol. The small amount of free alkali, that is the NaCl, dissolved soap, proteinaceous matter, some inorganic salts, and coloring matter. Glycerol is removed from it as first one is by the spent lye is allowed to settle in an iron tank where the heavy impurities settle down. And the second way is the clear liquid is pumped into the treating tank treated with a stream coil. It is treated with HCl to neutralize the 3/4 of free alkali present in the lye. It is now treated with the alum or basic ferric sulfate, which neutralizes the remaining alkali and also converts the traces of sodium soap as well as free acid still present into the insoluble iron soaps. A gelatinous precipitate of ferrous hydroxide, of the ferric hydroxide, and the insoluble iron soap is formed. The third way is the liquid along precipitate is filtered through the filter presses under the pressure. The clear liquid is obtained is concentrated in vacuum pans to about 80% of glycerol. During evaporation, the common salt separate out and remove from the time from the bottom, time to time from the bottom. The next stage is the crude glycerol is obtained, is decolorized with the animal charcoal that we have seen in the staff process also, and it is purified by process of distillation with superheated steam under reduced pressure. Then distillate containing the water is then concentrated again in a vacuum pan until the glycerol specific gravity 1.26 is obtained. So this is a long procedure of obtaining the glycerol when it is prepared from the fats and oil, when it is hydrolyzed with the NaOH solution. So there you will get the soap on the form of glycerol stearate. So we will obtain this glycerol or the glycerine from these 5 processes. The properties of the नहीं लिखे है मैंने. Okay. So properties we know it is a clear, it is colorless, it is odorless, it is slightly sweet in taste, it is a hygroscopic, that means it moisture absorb करता है. The solubility, it is miscible in water and alcohol, it is insoluble in chloroform. Then the pure glycerol boils at 290 degrees centigrade, but impure decomposes at such boiling point. Specific gravity is 1.255 to 1.266 at 20 degrees centigrade. It is commonly obtained by the hydrolysis of fats and fixed oil that we have seen. Then when it is heated with the dehydrating agent like potassium hydrogen sulfate, it forms the acrolein, that is a pungent smelling unsaturated aldehyde, and it crystallizes on cooling. It is if it is kept in the lower temperature. It may solidify and forming the mass of colorless crystals when it melts at 17 degrees centigrade. Then in the purity test of glycerin that we have discussed in the lab, there are the four processes. First one is the acrolein test, second one is the copper hydroxide, borax bed test, and the Dunstan's test. So these are the four purity tests of the glycerin. So when the college will open, in that time again we will take this purity test. During the practical in the lab I have explained you, but if it is remain of some batches, then we will take it again. Then it is storage, it should be kept in the dry, well closed container. The most important is the uses of the glycerol. So last in the last examination I have asked you about the uses of glycerin, not alcohol, it is a glycerin. So this glycerin can be used externally or this glycerin can be used internally. So externally we know it is used as an antiseptic. It is a substance which soften and which relaxes the skin when you are applied. So hence it is known as a emollient. The glycerin is the best application for the rough skin or the cracked skin or any type of the skin diseases. It will give the softness or it will provide the moisture. It is used for the mouth ulcers or the ulcers on the tongue. It is also useful for the ear pain where if the pus is gathered in the ear, then it is an excellent solvent for the numerous bodies such as the fixed alkaline, large number of salts, vegetable, pepsin, tannin, etc. It is a good vehicle for applying these substances to the skin or to the sores. Internally also you can take it. It is used as a suppository in constipation for evacuation of the bile in a simple constipation, especially when the feces is stuck into the sigmoid fissure and the rectum. It may be introduced by a special metal syringe per rectum, being mixed with the olive oil and the purified water. Then for the, it is also useful for the preparation of mullein oil. It is used for the preparation of the glycerol. It is used for the preparation of mother tincture and the lower dilution of certain poisons such as apismale, nasa and tarantula. Then it is used for the preservation of the poisonous animal products such as the lachesis, crotalus and the ilips. So in the snake family or the Ophidia family, we are used the glycerin for the preservation. It is again useful for the cosmetic for the skin that we have discussed. It is used in the manufacturing of the nitroglycerin. It is for the treatment of the glaucoma, for the preparation of the ink or the shoe polish, and it is also useful in the rubber and the plastic industries. So these are the certain uses of the glycerin. The next vehicle, that is a simple syrup. In the examination, I have asked you about the simple syrup. So this simple syrup is prepared with the help of the sucrose or the cane sugar and by adding the purified water. So 450 ml of purified water, heat it up to the when it is boiled, heated to the boiling temperature, and then add of 550 gram of sucrose to it. The mixture is heated cautiously with a constant stirring until the whole sucrose is dissolved. The resultant solution is filtered through the purified cotton or suitable filter paper. Rinse the vessel with the hot purified water till the final solution became 1000 ml. Then storage, again it should be kept in a well closed container. It should be the container should be of neutral glass. It should not be exposed to the undue fluctuation in temperature. The uses, it is a vehicle uh, which is used during the prescription of homeopathic mother tincture. These syrups are the best vehicle to combine with which is the odor or the taste of this tincture, so उसको overlap कर लेंगे. In this way we can use these syrups. The next one is the olive oil. Uh, this olive oil, it is also known as oleum ovale. It is a fixed oil. So we have seen the two types of oil in the introduction only, fixed oil and the volatile oil. So this is under the fixed type of oil. This is expressed from the ripe fruits of olea, which is the Oleaceae the family. It is found in the southern Europe. Then the composition, it is the olive oil composed of olein, linolein, palmitic oil and the arginine. Then how it is prepared? If it ये बहुत easy है बनाना. ये ripe fruit से बनाते हैं. So the ripe olive fruits are crushed in the meals. The remaining portion is mixed with the solvent like calcium disulfide and boiled. The residual oil is extracted by expression. Then we have seen the composition. It contains 93% of oleic acid, linolein 7%, and the palmitic oil and the arginine. Then the properties, it is a pale yellow, but its color may vary from colorless to green or greenish yellow in color. It is having the slight, but not a slight odor, but not it to be of rancid. It is bland in taste. It is at the low temperature, it may be the solid or partly solid. Specific gravity is 0.910 to 0.913 at 20 degrees centigrade. Boiling range is 40 to 60 degrees centigrade. Almost insoluble in water, alcohol, and miscible in the solvent ether with chloroform and light petroleum. If it is exposed to air and heat, it gradually loses the color and become rancid. It should be kept in a well airtight container. Uses, it is used being a bland, unirritating fixed oil. It is usually applied as an emollient. That means to make the skin soft. It is a common soothing protective to burns. It may mix with the politics to prevent from the sticking to their stickings to the skin. It is used to apply for getting smoothing effect on superficial ulcers. It is rubbed after mixing with the cod liver oil over the skin of patient suffering from rickets and the marasmus. It makes the skin softer, smoother, and more flexible. These are the external uses of olive oil. The internal uses are, because of olive oil, the flow of the gastric juice will be the much more, and hence it is an excellent food in cases of the gastric ulcer for the acid prevent in healing of ulcer. It is good mild laxative. It can be taken at the bedtime. In the constipation, it is very much useful, and it is useful for the preparation of which external application. That is your next question. So olive oil is used in which type of external application that we have seen in the chapter external application. So this is about the olive oil. So next oils are the almond oil, sesame oil, hydronephus oil, chalmulga oil. Then the volatile oils such as sandalwood oil, lavender oil, and the rosemary oil. Then after that, we these are the certain oil use. Please read it from the book because if the property you them tomorrow we will take it again. But please read these oils once again from the book. The uses properties are much important in the oil. And then we will take the semi-solid vehicle, that is the Vaseline, and the next we will take the soap and the starch. So tomorrow we will complete this. So today we have seen a lot of things. We have seen the preparation of the glycerol, we have seen the ethyl alcohol, we have seen ether, rectified spirit, proof spirit. So these are the vehicles, liquid vehicles that we have seen. So we have seen the use from chief varieties of alcohol, 5 varieties we have seen. Absolute alcohol, its preparation from the quick lime and from the benzene. Then we have seen what is the difference between the homeopathic alcohol and absolute alcohol. Then we have seen the second variety, that is a strong alcohol, its preparation and uses. Dilute alcohol, its preparation and uses. Dispensing alcohol. Then the rectified spirit, we have seen the 2 varieties of rectified spirit, overproof and underproof. Then the proof spirit. The next vehicle is the purified water. Then we have seen the preparation of this purified water by distillation and by deionization. Distillation process we have seen in the lab also. Deionization means ion exchanger. Here we have used the hydroxyl and the hydrogen ion for the purification of water. Then the lot of uses of alcohol we have seen. The next vehicle is the ether. Then glycerine, so many uses and a long procedure of the preparation of glycerine we have seen. The 3 methods are there in the glycerine preparation: by the fermentation of sugar, and by the synthetic source by with the help of propylene, and then by the soap lies. The next vehicle is the simple syrup, that also we have seen, so that they can carry the mother tincture which is having the burning test. And last we have seen the olive oil, its preparation and so many uses. Almond oil, the preparation is same as that of the olive oil. It is prepared from the almond. It is a fixed type of oil. Here also the seeds are get crushed and the oil is liberated. It contains not less than 80% of benzaldehyde, composed mainly of olein and some leonine. But it is no sterling is present in it. It is again a pale yellow in color. It is having the bland taste. It is miscible in the ether and slightly soluble in alcohol. The specific gravity is 0.910 to 0.915. Then the almond oil is useful again for the emollient. It is a bland oil. This is again useful for preparation of the liniment. It is a soothing application for the irritable skin diseases where the rough skin is there. Internally also the almond oil is very good. It is act as a mild purgative if it is taken in the proper doses. So almond oil is very good for our digestion and for our rough skin. Nowadays the almond oil is useful for many purposes. The sesame oil also we know, tiradsa tel, it is again obtained by the crushing of seeds, then it is refined. It is again useful for the preparation of liniment, and this sesame oil is good for the hair, and it is again a edible oil. So these are the certain oils that is a fixed oil. Tomorrow we will take the uh, Vaseline, starch and a soap.